What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel, and thanks for stopping by. Hey, today we are at Dirty Fest, and look who we are talking to. Damian Fulton, the creator of Radical Rick, the cartoon that we all knew and loved from back in the day. How the heck are you?
I am doing so well, man.
It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Well, I have to tell all your viewers out there that you were one of the first guys to do a review on the hardcover book.
Yes.
And I think you predicted that it would sell out,
Yep.
and
It
in
did.
48 hours sold out. And you're so kind to mention the book. We got it here in a paperback.
Yes. Nice.
And
How is that going so far?
it is a delight here at Dirty Fest because so many people remember reading Radical Rick,
Yes.
but a lot of times they were only like they were into BMX for a few years,
Mm-hmm.
and then
You.
you drifted, went to mountain bikes, whatever, and then
Yeah.
what happened was they start reading the book, and then they all of a sudden they
Yeah.
start stumbling into the years where they
Yeah.
were reading it. It's like they get these massive flashbacks,
Yeah.
and then they go, well, what happened? I stopped reading, and then they keep reading. So anyway,
Yeah.
people are delighted with it, so I'm stoked.
And this book has every episode,
Every episode,
right?
154 from 3 decades and 13 years, if you do the
That's
math. Because it
crazy.
started in 79,
Yeah.
and then it ended in 93. So I like to say three
Yeah, yeah.
decades. Yeah.
So how did it start? Like, what was the like? How did you get them to like give you the
Well,
chance to do that?
the funny thing is I thought I was going to be a serious artist, a serious painter, and I was a bike rider.
Mm-hmm.
And so my buddy, Dean Bradley, was a photographer at BMX Plus, and I said, gosh, can you introduce me to those guys? I love bicycles. I love painting and drawing, because I also paint a very realistic style
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
And, and so I show up there, and they go, gosh, we love all your portfolio and all your drawings, but what we really want is a cartoon. I go, are you kidding? A cartoon? Like, I'm a serious
I'm an
artist.
artist.
And they go, well, could you come up with something? And so I went away. I came back a week later, and I showed them Radical Rick.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a kid who had this overproductive rad gland and was sort of, before they identified what ADH and all these
Yeah,
symptoms
yeah.
of childhood are.
Yep.
He was the original poster boy for anything that was
Yeah.
radical. He was drawn to it like a moth to a flame. And so I presented it to him, and they go, we like this. Can you do another one? And so I kept coming back.
Yeah.
I kept showing him. They go, can you do one in color? Well, yeah. Can you do one in 2 pages? So that's how it happened.
how it went.
And I just did it because to have somebody interested in bicycles and my artwork, it was like a win-win.
Yeah, and you could just kind of blend the things that you love
Yeah.
to do. And I loved how you were able to get some of the professionals at that
Oh, yeah.
time.
They're
I mean,
here.
they're
They're
here.
here.
And the crazy thing is, like, I mean, if I was a pro and I made it into your cartoon, I would just be like, oh my God, I've made it. You know,
Oh.
like that's just got to be the
I-
coolest thing.
I did it because for the audience, for the kids or whoever was doing it,
Yeah.
it's so fun to when they could see the pros that they knew enter the world of Radical Rick.
Yes.
And like I was just talking to Greg Hill. There's an episode in there
Yes,
where Greg
he's in
Hill
there.
races Radical
Yeah.
Rick, and he accused Radical Rick of cheating. He has accused Radical Rick. The only way that Radical Rick beat him was by cheating, and I can tell you, Radical Rick did not cheat. He just Radical Ricked his way to victory.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. It's been a real joy to run into all my friends. Some of them I haven't seen in
Yeah.
35, 40 years.
Yeah. How did Radical Rick, like, because he doesn't speak?
You're right.
How did that come about? Like, was that a conscious choice?
Well,
Like,
here's what happened. Is I was thinking, what if I could come up with this mysterious character, and it was the way that people reacted to him
okay.
that made him interesting. You know,
Okay.
like sometimes actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I kind of bit off more than I could chew, because like I get into the first year and like people are going, we've never heard Radical Rick talk.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went, yes, it's a thing. And then
Nice.
I kept that through the whole series.
Yeah.
And looking back, it's probably one of the oddest choices. Anybody who has a character that doesn't talk.
Right.
Like
Right.
like if you want to shoot yourself in the foot and try to make storytelling extra difficult.
That's right.
But what happened is in this, you'll notice that every now and then there'll be the narrator will say,
Yeah,
you
and you
know,
have MX Mug
suddenly,
to talk for him too.
yes, and through sort of the narration and the way other people react, there goes a Radical Rick bumper sticker, sticker down.
Dirty
But
Fest
it's
at its
Dirty
best.
Fest. It should be called Windy Fest,
Yes.
but it's all
And
Dusty Fest.
Dusty Fest.
We're bringing back to Hawaii actual Dirty Fest dust for you on the
Yeah.
lens right
Yeah,
now.
everything. We're covered. We are covered with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you still made it work though.
Yeah, well,
You know, you
I guess you decide.
No, you did. You did.
And funny story too is over the years, Radical Rick they would ask they would ask me, could we develop Radical Rick for a comic strip? I mean, a TV show, either animated
Really?
or a movie.
Wow.
And of course, I'm all excited about this, and they would always say, hey, can
Can you
you
talk?
talk? Because we can't have a cartoon series where he can talk. And I always sort of like, I don't think it's not the.
Yeah.
And
it's not him.
thankfully, I'd like to say that's the reason why it never came to the silver screen.
I see.
But actually, the reason why, I mean, I've got Radical Rick scripts. I have Radical Rick decks where they were presented to networks.
Wow.
But eventually in Hollywood, there's so many promises and exciting things.
Yeah. I can see that.
But I would love to see a Radical Rick movie.
That would be awesome.
And now they've got CGI in such a way that he could do, triple backflips.
Oh yeah.
You know?
That would be a really cool thing to just be able to see come to life. You know.
Yeah.
How is it now? Like years later, coming to events like this and meeting people like us who are
Oh.
just fans and like just people that you've known for years from pros and people that you've
Yeah.
met, but then just meeting just regular people that just loved what you did. How is that?
It is ridiculously humbling, and also vindicating. And what I mean by that is, I don't know, you might be too young, but BMX kind of fell off the whole grid.
Yeah.
In
Yep.
in the 90s, it sort of went off
Yeah.
it just disappeared.
Yeah.
The magazines got thinner and thinner and thinner.
Yeah.
And our sport kind of got usurped by mountain biking and other sports.
Yeah.
So to see it so vibrant today and young people riding, for it to be in the Olympics, I just feel
incredible.
like what we loved and we did is now on a bigger stage,
Yeah.
and I think it adds a lot more respect.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think all the work that you did, I hope that you feel the love that
Thank you,
people
man.
have, because we truly love everything about Radical Rick. And I remember just, getting my magazine and just going straight to that. Skipping everything else, want to see what's
Yeah.
up with Radical Rick and watching that, and then to be able to come here and then see the book.
Isn't it
and to
nice?
be able to like
touch it.
Oh, when you first started talking about the book, I was like, oh, please make that happen. Please make that happen, because we don't have access to those magazines. So there would be no way for me to go back and look at some of that stuff. So for you to have access to it, and I'm sure it was hard.
I'm glad you appreciate that, because to put this together, interesting thing is a lot of the Radical Rick, when I would drop off the Radical Ricks.
And they would be in like big.
They'd be bigger format.
Yeah.
I drew them big, so then when they reduced it, all the detail was there. They would, take it, they photograph it, scan it, whatever
Stick
they
it on
did.
the side, probably.
It would go into some sort of a folder, but a lot of them got borrowed over time. People would grab them, and so I didn't get that many of them back.
So then, what was that like? Then you had to You had to rescan
What I did was I kind of crowdsourced it, and fans would send.
Oh, that's awesome.
Me either the magazine and I'd scan it, or I had some that I had scanned on CD,
Yeah.
and so I was able to compile a complete set.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, you can see some are scanned from kind of ratty magazines, and there's some fingerprints, and there's. But I've sort of figured out this is like an archaeological dig.
Yes.
It's not
Absolutely.
perfect.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm really I feel like it's such a relief that it's done because I've been there. By the way, there was
It,
probably 3 or 4 starts where people came in and they go, "Hey, we're going to put the book together. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to publish it for you." And I get all excited, and then
and then they
they
disappear.
disappear.
Ah,
And just sum up, people.
yeah.
It's difficult. I call it interest decay.
Hmm.
And interest decay is that factor, or that human element where the dopamine first hits and everybody goes, "Oh my gosh, it's going to be rad. We're going to do this. We're going to do that." And then there's some other exciting thing, and it's
Yeah.
a squirrel moment. And people go off and go, "Oh my gosh, we're going to go do that." And I go,
Yeah.
"But what
What
about
about
the?" And
yeah?
so
Or maybe
what?
they don't even realize how difficult that would be.
It sounds so easy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because they
you have all the
you have them
episodes.
all,
Just
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and the funniest ones, my favorite ones, was this guy comes up to me one time and he goes, "Listen, we've got to have the history of Radical Rick. We've got to have it in a book." And I go, "Oh my gosh, yes, we need to do that." And he
Yeah.
goes, "We're going to put this together and we're going to make this the greatest collection ever." So this is so good. And he calls me back later. Okay, so what I need you to do, I need you to get all the episodes. I need you to scan them all.
Well, there's a
I
problem
need you
with
to
that.
I need you to build the book, okay? And then you're going to go have the books
Well, then why do I
published
need you?
and manufactured, okay? And don't worry, I'm going to do all the publicity, but you go build the book and everything.
Oh
And I'm like
God.
going, and
Oh.
at that time, I'm raising kids. I've got other
Yeah,
things
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
going
yeah.
on. So,
Yeah.
but finally, it's out, and just
Yeah.
it took forever, but it's worth it. I, I'm, I found one typo so far, and that's your job to find the next one. No, don't find a typo. But yeah, thank
No,
you
it's
so much.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to have every episode in one thing, because I went through it and I was like, I didn't realize half of the stuff that was in there because I didn't see every magazine. I saw it when I was
Right. That's
interested.
what people keep saying
Yeah,
is like, I remember pages, like
yeah,
that was my era right
yes,
there, those pages.
exactly, exactly.
So,
Because
yeah.
when we were growing up, once we got our license to drive, then the BMX kind of went away, you know?
Right.
So that's
Sure.
when we kind of stepped off. So to have everything all in one place,
It's such
I
a
mean, it's
formative time when kids were riding because their bikes, when we were young, our bike was like a transfer.
just freedom.
It was, you could go anywhere.
Yeah.
And
And our parents didn't care.
I know.
Our parents were like, just be home by dinner.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they didn't care if you ate during the day. It was like just be
Oh
home by
yeah,
dinner,
yeah. We drank out of garden
Oh,
hoses,
yeah, and it was such a good fun time, and to be able to relive some of that in the book, it's just been incredible.
Thank
So
you.
congratulations.
Thank you, man.
On all of the success, and I
And
know
look at how 808 is representing.
yes, sir. I had to wear this today.
There's a lot of different brands he could wear.
Oh, yeah.
When you see this, he's legit.
It's legit. See? Yeah.
We coordinated. I called him. What shirt are you wearing?
And tell us about the jacket before we go. I mean, look at this.
Oh, so this was for, I was nominated for the Hall of Fame, and I thought, like all the rock stars show up to events,
Yeah.
and they have cool gear, and I went, you know what? I'm probably the only guy that I know that could wear something
make
like
your
this
own.
of my friends. Yeah, so I went ahead and it's got Radical Rick, some patches, and it's got stuff underneath. And my goal is
Yeah.
the next time I see you, it'll be a little more.
Nice.
And each
Love
event,
it.
I'm adding more and more and more until
Oh, that's awesome.
Until I'm
That's
finally
incredible.
covered, and then I have to go do pants.
There you
I'll have
go.
like a matching suit,
There you go.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for just being able to talk to us today.
Yeah.
And like I said, congratulations on the book. It's an incredible collection of your work.
Thank you.
And again, I hope you realize just how many of us just truly
Thank you,
enjoyed
man.
it. It was a highlight of our youth growing up. And to be able to come here and see you in person and meet you,
Oh, well, man,
another
thank you.
highlight. So
I
thank
really,
you.
really appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
And
thank
I will
you.
tell you, if I get over to the island, because I do
For
occasionally.
sure, you come and look us
I
up.
will definitely do
Yeah.
it. Go,
It would be awesome to have an event like this in Hawaii.
okay, let's go to Hawaii.
Right?
We need an
Right?
event organizer. Let's do.
There's actually an event
let's-
right now on Oahu. It's a bike show. It's a small one, but I mean, how cool would that be for you to have a booth over there,
Oh.
or to see some of these other guys here?
That's a good excuse right there to go.
Yes. So
Any excuse.
let's make that happen, people out there, if you're watching. But hey, thank you again. Thank you so much. And Damian Fulton, Radical Rick. Thanks for watching.
Oh, and stay rad.
Stay, yes.
Yes.
Stay rad. Aloha.